Hi, welcome back to the channel. It's a DJ, and today we're starting a new series where I solo run Pokemon FireRed with Pokemon from other generations. It's one thing that I've noticed people haven't really thought to consider in the solo run community is how does a Pokemon do outside of its game? So what I plan to do is to do this with all the Pokemon in the Gen 4 Pokedex and possibly move on to Gen 5 after that. So starting this, what I did was I randomly selected a Pokemon to do our first challenge with, and it happens to be Porygon-Z. And initially, I thought Porygon-Z would be a really good Pokemon to start with. It has a super high special attack, and it should be good. However, I don't think we're really going to be able to make use of Porygon until later in the game, and the early game is going to be a bit difficult. One of the most difficult things, of course, being our battle with Brock. Brock uses rock type Pokemon, and Porygon doesn't learn any moves that can really do damage to his Pokemon until level 20. It's going to know Tackle until level 15, where it learns Thunder Shock. And Thunder Shock, of course, is not going to be able to do any damage to Brock's ground type Pokemon. So Brock's going to be a challenge. After that, we may be in a good position. We can see how well Porygon does, but the amount of time it takes us at the beginning of the game can be really bad. Let's go over the rules real quick before we continue on. First, I am recording this as I play the game. So I'm a bit too lazy to do a voiceover. So we'll be doing this as we play through the game. So my reactions to the battle will be my actual reactions. I will not be knowing what's going to happen in the battle beforehand. Also, no items in battle, so no potions or X attacks or anything like that will be used. I can only use Porygon in battle. I can catch other Pokemon, of course, to use HMs and things like that. But for battles, the only Pokemon I will be using is Porygon. Um, there is no minimum battle rule, although I will try to do the least amount of battles as possible just so we can get through the game faster. So that way we can compare Porygon to the other Pokemon that we'll play with and see how their times match up. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead, run through the Viridian Forest. I think Viridian Forest is going to be pretty easy, and then we'll face off against Brock. Um, and see how high of a level I can get Porygon at before, or what level would be a good level to take on Brock. So we're going to take a look at that. So full transparency, I've already done um, part of this run, and then long story short, a save file got messed up, so I had to restart. So knowing that we're gonna need to be at a much higher level in order to defeat Brock, I decided to go ahead and take on our rival to the west of Viridian first. Now he's only got two Pokemon. It's just a Pidgey and the Bulbasaur. And by the way, I had a rival pick Bulbasaur because it resists electric moves, and it actually doesn't look good. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. I thought we'd be able to beat him fairly easily, but Pidgey just spam tackle, which is good because we don't want it to use sand attack, but my gosh, that's not how we wanted that to go. We're only a few levels lower than him, but yeah, that wasn't enough. I think we'll have to come back and fight our rival again. Alrighty, so this time I fought all the trainers in Viridian Forest first, and then now we're gonna take on our rival again at a higher level. So hopefully we don't get destroyed by a Pidgey, which was surprising. I didn't expect to. Um, I mentioned before, wow, we got a crit. That's pretty good. I mentioned before I was afraid of Sand Attack, but I forgot about Trace. And that's one thing that I think is going to be good, especially with against our rival, since he sends out his Pidgey first. we don't have to worry about our accuracy being dropped because we will trace that keen eye from his Pidgey, which is going to help us out. So this time at level 11, we're at a high enough level to defeat our rival, but we're still at level 11, and I know for sure this is not high enough to defeat Brock. We're not at a high enough level, and I'll just shortly demonstrate that. I'll do a battle with Brock to show you guys what the issue is. All right, so we've taken on our rival, and I'm just gonna show the difficulty that Brock presents to us when you have a Pokemon that only has a physical move. So Porygon at level 12, we're at the same level as Brock. Now I could use Defense Curl to help us survive his tackle attacks. The downside is he also has Defense Curl, and the more he uses it, so now tackle only does 3 points of damage to me, which is good. So I can use tackle. It does a very little amount, but if Brock decides to use Defense Curl like he is now, and eventually I'm only going to do 1 point of damage, it's going to be impossible for us to even get past the Geodude, let alone the Onyx. So as you see, he's used Defense Curl twice, I believe, and yeah, of course, Tackle has a chance to miss, and we will. Um, so we're barely doing any damage. 1 point of damage each, and we won't get past Brock. It's just not going to happen here unless we get critical hits. That could work for us, but it's not something we can really rely on. So what we're going to have to do is do some grinding in the grass, I guess in Viridian Forest, which is going to take a lot of time. This is what's going to add all the time down for Porygon, is that um, the grinding that we have to do for him. So here we lose to Geodude, and yeah, that's the difficulty that Brock presents us. So I think I'll come back probably as close to level 20 as possible. I want to see if we can do it before we learn Psybeam, but of course, it's not guaranteed that we can. All right, so we've gotten ourselves up to level 15, and I'm not sure that that's high enough, but I figured we'd give it a try. And we might be able to be consistent enough to get past Geodude, but it's going to be hard enough to get past Onyx. I'm going to start with just a single defense curl. I want to try and withstand as many tackles as possible. Still only doing 3 HP after one defense curl, and our tackles are doing a bit more, but not a whole lot. Hopefully we can get some crits. Crits would be nice. But yeah, being able to withstand his tackle attack, I think will help us because it's gonna be a long battle, a very, very long battle. I'm actually gonna speed things up here. And it seems to actually be working out for us, surprisingly. And we get past the Geodude with 30 HP left. I actually did not expect that. Did not expect us to be able to get past the Geodude with that. And now we can set in on the Onyx. I do set up another defense curl because I want, I know Onyx has Rock Tomb as he just used, and that's doing 5 HP now. So now that's going to slow us down, so Onyx might get faster than us. Um, and Tackle's only doing 2 HP. The problem is 4 Rock Tombs and we're done, and we're not doing enough damage to withstand it. He's not using Rock Tomb at the moment, so it it's working in our favor, but I doubt we're able to get past the Onyx. But we're looking pretty good actually, and I might be able to defeat Brock before we learn Psybeam, and that's the goal. Now, Bind is a problem because it does damage at the end of every turn, and yeah, so we're taking extra damage from the bind. So yeah, we don't make it past Onyx, but now at least that we're strong enough to make it past Geodude. And I think we're almost at level 16. I think if we can get to level 16, we might have a chance. We did half of Onyx health, so 16 or 17 probably is going to be where we want to be. All right, so we've tried at all of the lower levels, and it is it's not impossible, but extremely difficult to get past when you only have tackle, and Porygon doesn't have any way to lower the attack stat of the other Pokemon. So now with Psybeam, of course, it's easy. They don't have any high special defense stat, and we're quite a bit of few. We're a few levels above them, so it is easy to get past once you get Psybeam. So hopefully Porygon can make up some time after Brock, because right now it took us about 2 hours in order to get past, in order 2 hours and 19 minutes, and that is with all the grinding and things we had to do in the grass, because in order to get Porygon-Z up to level 20, that took a whole lot of time. So now we need to make that time up, and the next few gyms should be a bit easy, so maybe we can. So Porygon actually flies through Mount Moon, and I just wanted to show you guys this because I know you all are curious about what fossil I choose, and as you saw, I chose the Dome fossil because I refuse to bow down to your swirly gods. So the first thing that I do in Cerulean City is take on Misty. We're at a high enough level, and with Thundershock and a moveset, I believe Porygon should have an easy enough time taking on the all-out offensive water type Pokemon user. So actually with this battle, I think I'm gonna start off just in case with a nasty plot. Um, because Porygon doesn't get a stab from Thundershock, and Thundershock isn't the strongest move. Unfortunately, we're confused by the Water Pulse there. That sucks. So we have to hope we don't hit ourselves, and we don't. So the Thundershock is actually, yeah, it's going to one-shot the Staryu. And then we have to face off against Starmie, which is at about the same level that we are. And that's why I went for a Nasty Plot, because I know Porygon has a super high um special attack stat. But as you saw there, even with the nasty plot, we're not able to one shot the Starmie, and Misty uses a super potion. So this might actually take 3 hits. We still didn't hit ourselves, which works in our favor. And yeah, it's gonna take 3 hits. And we have to break through the confusion, which we don't. And Starmie uses recover. And see there, that's why I used the nasty plot. Now we will take it out here even after the recover, but yeah, you can't assume just because we're at a good level with a high special attack stat that we'll be able to do that. The lack of stab and the low base power of Thundershock really does affect how much damage we're able to do there. So, but we beat Misty quite easily, so now we get to take on our rival. So it's time for rival number 2. Now I'm really not that worried about this battle. Porygon should be able to deal with pretty much all of his Pokemon. We trace Kenai there, so no sand attacks will be lowering our accuracy. We don't one shot the Pidgeotto, interesting enough, so we get hit by the Gust, and we'll take that out with a Thunder Shock. And this is the plus side to Porygon. Besides Brock, I honestly don't think we're going to have too much more trouble throughout the game, and that would be because the normal typing for one, it doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. We're weak against fighting, but in this generation, there isn't a lot of fighting type Pokemon you have to worry about. There's Bruno, but we don't talk about Bruno. So, yeah, we don't have to really worry about that. Plus, Porygon has an actual pretty good level up moveset. He learned some pretty good moves. He learned some pretty good TMs, and yeah, it's probably not going to be difficult. With that being said, I haven't gone through the game yet, so maybe you'll run into a difficult battle. But that's it for rival number 2. We didn't one shot everything, but it was pretty close, and yeah, rival two's down. So now it's time to take on rival number 3. And this, I think, is going to be just as easy as the last rival battle. Not too hard here. We did teach Porygon Secret Power. We picked up that TM on the Cerulean Cape. And I think it's a good pickup, not only because it's a base 70 power move, but we also get the same type attack bonus with it as well. So with Thundershock, we can get rid of Pidgeotto. Thundershock is underperforming a bit, So we definitely need to get Thunderbolt from Lieutenant Surge, which is who we're going to be taking on next, of course. Then he sends out his Radic. Okay, I can probably power through the rest of his team with Secret Power. Yep, there is a one shot with Secret Power there. Kadabra has no defense, so Secret Power should one shot it there as well. Yep. And lastly, his Ivysaur, which we have Psybeam, so we might as well go with that, especially since we have a good special attack stat. And Ivysaur goes down. What an easy fight. Our rival with at least Porygon-Z is not going to be a hard matchup. All right, so now we need to go rub an old man's back, and then we can go fight Lieutenant Surge. Now it's time for us to face down the lightning American who should have stayed in America, Lieutenant Surge. With Porygon, again, I'm not too worried about this battle. I guess the biggest problem may be the Magnemite because of their steel typing, but Secret Power takes out Voltorb easily. He has a Pikachu. Oh, he doesn't even have Magnemite in this. That's right. He has Pikachu and Raichu, which is no problem. With Pikachu, I'm going to use Psybeam because I don't want to be paralyzed by his static ability. And then I'll just go ahead and do the same thing with Raichu. Raichu does not go down immediately. Actually does less than half, surprising. And he paralyzed me. Um, and he's starting to use double team. This could be a problem. This could be a huge problem, but okay, we break through the paralysis and his double team. Lieutenant Surge uses the super potion, and he does up another double team. Okay, so maybe I came into this battle a bit too confident. I don't think Shockwave's going to do that much. No, it doesn't do a lot at all. Oh my gosh. A third double team. That's bad. That is so bad. And we're paralyzed. Oh my gosh. I should not have been so confident going into this battle. This is not what I wanted to see. Did we miss? Oh, because of the double team. Yeah, that's why we missed. I probably should have set up a nasty plot or something like that. Shockwave is getting dangerously close to knocking us out. Okay, we land side beam again. That does it. Oh my gosh. We actually could have lost that. If I started by setting up a nasty plot first, we would have been fine. I actually did not expect Raichu to be able to do that much and then double team. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we made it past Lieutenant Surge. All right, maybe he deserves to be here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and actually get rid of Thundershock. Oh, he gives us Shockwave, not Thunderbolt. Why did I think it was Thunderbolt? It's still better than Thundershock. Plus, it doesn't miss. So if we run into someone else with double team, that would definitely help. So after spending a little time hanging out with Master Roshi looking into Erica's gym, I decided to actually go inside. And we're going to take her on before we do the Rocket Hideout. Because she should be fairly easy. She has a lot of poison type Pokemon. And yeah, we're pretty good against poison Pokemon with Psybeam. So we end up interrupting Erica, enjoying her herbs, and we're gonna take her on. Like I said, Psybeam is going to be pretty much the deal winner for us. I could nasty plot up to just give ourselves a boost, but I decided not to. We're gonna go ahead for that first Psybeam, and yeah, yeah, it does not knock out the victory bell. So just to ensure, and she has the hyper potion. Interesting. So she's gonna heal up with the hyper potion. I do use nasty plot to give us a boost to our special attack, and now we go for the Psybeam against victory bell. I have to remember it with Psybeam not being stabbed, it will not just one shot Pokemon. I keep expecting it to, and it doesn't all the time. So we're learning recover, which could come in handy in the future. At the moment, I don't think we need it. If I need to use move relearner, I can do that possibly. We go for Secret Power on Tangela, the only pure grass Pokemon that she has, and ironically, it poisons me. Uh, but we do take out the Tangela with Secret Power. That's pretty easy. And then she has one Pokemon left in the Vileplume, which is also weak against Psybeam. Now, with the Nasty Plot, the Psybeam is, well, ooh, I don't know if the crit mattered. we got a critical hit, but I believe with Nasty Plot we would have been able to just take it out. So that is 4 badges under our belt already, and we're ready to take on the Rocket Hideouts. Now it's time for our first Giovanni fights in the Rocket Hideouts, and this again I think is going to go well. I think I will start though by setting up one Nasty Plot there, just to raise our special attack up. We're quite a few levels ahead, so I think we'll be okay. Giovanni, of course, uses ground type Pokemon, so I'm gonna focus on using Psybeam because that is easier to defeat them than trying to get through with the physical um, secret power. We don't want to use that against them. Of course, there's Rhyhorn, also a rock ground type, so Psybeam should be able to deal with that, no problem. And his last Pokemon is Kangaskhan, which isn't a ground type. You ever wonder why Giovanni has Kangaskhan? It's like, why? It's not a ground type. I thought you were the ground type trainer. That Mega Punch actually did a lot of damage. I'm going to swap over to Secret Power, and that still doesn't do it. Oh my gosh. Kangaskhan is actually that took more than I thought it would to defeat him. My gosh. Okay, so but we easily get rid of Giovanni, get the Silph Scope, so we can move on to the next part. Now, before we go into back to Lavender Town to go through the Pokemon Tower, I first sneak into Saffron by bribing a guard with a cup of tea laced with cocaine, and then we are gonna pick up Psychic from Mr. Psychic's house, and I think that would be a better move for us to use than Psybeam, and it could be very useful, doing a lot more damage. So now I'm back in Lavender Town, and we make our way to the Pokemon Tower, and we're gonna take on rival number 4. This is 4, right? Yeah, yes, this is rival number 4. And again, I'm not too worried about his team. So far through each battle, we've been able to get through this pretty easily. Shockwave takes out the Pidgeotto, no problem. And then, of course, he is going to move on to his Gyarados now, which is 4 times weak against electric attacks. So even though Intimidate lowers my attack stat, I focus on special attacks mostly, besides Secret Power. So we're still able to take it out in one shot easy. Now he moves on to his Growlithe. That's a double Intimidate. That could be detrimental to anyone else. But then we use our Psychic that we picked up from Saffron City, and that takes out the Growlithe easily. I switched the Shockwave for Kadabra. I usually would use the Secret Power on Kadabra, but since we got intimidated twice, I figured we should move on to Shockwave. And then lastly, Ivysaur, easy to take down with one shot with Psychic, and that was easy. And as well as the rest of this tower should be easy, because even though we're normal type, since we have the ability to use Psychic type moves and all of the Ghost type Pokemon in here are Poison, we are super effective against all of them. So yeah, that's going to be fairly easy. So after disrespecting the graves of all the Pokemon in Pokemon Tower, I decided to head to Fuchsia, and that is when I realized I forgot to pick up the bike. Oh my gosh, so I have to fly back to Cerulean. This adds a few seconds on to the time, but yeah, that's unfortunately. I have to remember to do this. Wait, I have the bike voucher, don't I? Okay, so I don't have a bike voucher, so I have to fly to Vermilion. I thought I got the bike voucher. This is horrible. All right, well, that's what we're doing. Have you ever been in Koga's gym and just wondered, like, is this really the poison gym? Because besides Koga has poison Pokemon, yes, but the rest of the people in his gym all have psychic Pokemon. It's like it's the second psychic gym. I don't understand. It like this isn't poison gym. They don't have poison Pokemon. What is this? He had a Kadabra. What is that? All right, so after the bike fiasco, we head straight into Koga's gym, take on all of his non-poison type trainers in his gym, and now we're ready to face off against him. Now, Koga, I faced off against him before Sabrina because I figured this would be like one of the easiest ones to take on. We have Psychic from Saffron, and unfortunately, he uses Toxic on us. That could be detrimental. Oh, I think I have a berry to solve that, but I didn't put it on Porygon. So obviously, like, I can't use it. So if we lose, we'll have to maybe have Porygon hold that berry just in case. Oh my gosh, I didn't even take Toxic into consideration. We're gonna have to quickly get through this. Okay, we're able to one-shot the Muck, so that should be good. If we can one-shot the Muck, then the rest of this battle should be easy, even with the Toxic in play. So that's the Coughing gone. Coughing is obviously going to go down. And then he has a Wheezing. Wheezing likes to blow itself up, so maybe he'll just use Explosion. I'm pretty sure we can live it. Maybe not after that poison hit. Is at level 40. He's actually a higher level than us. And we one shot anyway. It doesn't matter. Good job. Oh my gosh. All right, so yeah, wow, Koga is actually a higher level. We're actually not over level, which is kind of insane when you think about it. So he gives us Toxic. We could use that, but I don't think we'll go for it. So now we have to head to a safari and look for some old man's teeth because I don't know. We have to do a lot of things for old men in this game. It's a little strange. We had to rub an old sea captain's back because he was seasick, and then now we got to find some teeth. Kind of weird when you think about it. So back in Saffron City, we're ready to take on rival number 5, or as J Rose likes to say, rival Fivel. Is that how I should say it? Is that what you guys want me to say? Rival Fivel. Rival Fivel here in Saffron City. And again, I don't even know. Do we need to go over this battle? He has a Pidgeot. I learned Discharge, so we can use that. Of course, Discharge is one of the moves added to the game. But yeah, it does the same thing that Discharge does in every other game, and it one-shots the Pidgeotto. Then Gyarados, of course, if Pidgeotto gets one shot, then Gyarados will also get one shot, just like it did last time. But this time, it's with Discharge. 4 times effective, it goes down. That's pretty easy. And if he has Charizard, I now even have, or no, he has a Venusaur, I forgot. But he has Growlithe this time. I go for Secret Power on the Growlithe, and that was dumb. That was dumb of me. I should have just stuck with Discharge, knowing that my special attack is much higher. I just thought I would try and switch it up for the Growlithe. I guess it was a bad idea. There goes the Alakazam, and as you guessed it, I'm gonna use Discharge. And yes, we've discharged all over the Alakazam, and it's done. It's done. Sorry, Alakazam. So in all that's left is the Venusaur, and unfortunately for Venusaur, it's weak against Psychic. So yeah. I fully expected to one-shot the Venusaur. It did not work, so we get to use the second one. Made it a little bit more difficult. Crit didn't matter, and Rival 5 was done, and we get to move on to Giovanni. All right, now it's time for Giovanni in Silphco. So our second fight against Giovanni before we fight him as a gym leader. And again, this is gonna be not too hard. He starts with a Nidorino, but it's a poison type. So yeah, we are perfectly good against poison types. I'm surprised how well Porygon-Z how well rounded it is, considering I only have 3 different type of moves: normal, electric, and psychic, and that pretty much like bodies the entire game. It's so weird. He's learning Tri Attack, and actually Tri Attack might be good. It's base 80, so it is a little bit better than Secret Power, and it has a secondary effect, either burn, freeze, or paralyze, which is good. Secret Power can have secondary effects as well, but it depends on where you are. So we're gonna go for Tri Attack there. I think it'll be a little bit better. Plus, we still get the same type attack bonus there. Nidoqueen comes out. Of course, we could dispatch of Nidoqueen fairly easily. It's gonna be a 2-hit KO. Body Slam could paralyze us. It doesn't. So that's good. Paralysis could have been bad. But we get through pretty easily there, and now it's just Kangaskhan. Once again, I'm gonna go with Discharge. We know Kangaskhan is pretty strong. Discharge actually not doing that much. Mega Punch is scary, does quite a bit of damage. I instead go for Tri Attack, looking for that same type attack bonus, and yeah, it actually does do more than the Discharge because of it. So Tri Attack, maybe the move to go for with against Kangaskhan at least. So we're able to take it out, and there's one last Pokemon. It's the Rhyhorn. Rhyhorn's no problem. We use one of our last two Psychics, and oh, it actually lives and hits us with a Rock Blast. Are we gonna lose? Oh, we're only hit twice. Oh my gosh, I thought we were gonna lose. It lived on 1 HP, probably because it has Sturdy. Oh my goodness. I thought that was for sure in the bag, and we almost lost. That's not what I want to see when facing off against Giovanni. He should be an easy win, but that came close. So now we get to talk to this rich guy who thinks he can repay me for saving his life by giving me a Pokeball. Great. I only use one Pokemon, sir. Don't need it. Thank you. Thank you very much. And now we get to take on Sabrina. That should be fun. Okay, at this point, it's time to take on our 6th gym badge against Sabrina. Sabrina, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. I don't have anything that's super effective, but her Kadabras and things are pretty frail, so a physical Tri Attack actually might do the job. Yeah, we one-shot the first Kadabra with that, and then she sends out Mr. Mime. We're going to go for Tri Attack one more time. And then we beat Mr. Mime. There we go. And now Venomoth, which isn't a Psychic type Pokemon, but is weak against Psychic. So weird that she has it, and we get to drop it in one shot. Right there. Lastly, her Alakazam, which I believe a Tri-Attack will do wonders against. So we go for the Tri-Attack. It's at level 43. We still one-shot it because Alakazam has no physical defense. And we're done. That is an easy badge 1. All right, gym badge number 7, and then we're almost on our way to the Elite Four after we take on Giovanni. But now let's focus on Blaine. He says we should have a burn hill. I do not, but again, I'm not too worried. His Pokemon are pretty high level. We lose a bit of attack with the Intimidate from Growlithe. He also has an Arcanine, which is going to be a bit of a problem, but I stick with Tri-Attack this time. I believe it can wipe the Growlithe off. Oh, it's not enough. He hits us with a Fire Blast. Does a bit of damage, actually. So he's going to use a Hyper Potion. This is going to allow me to test whether Psychic would do more damage, and it does. So it's better for me to stick with Psychic rather than Tri-Attack, probably because of that physical attack drop that we took from Intimidate. But we're going to go ahead and take out Ponyta. No, Ponyta lives too. I'm not liking this whole ordeal with us not being able to take out their Pokemon. I go for a Discharge because I didn't think about his second Hyper Potion. It does a lot of damage. Ponyta's not going to do that much to me, so I actually take the time to use Nasty Plot here. And I'm going to use Nasty Plot just so we can have a bit more. Oh, we're burned. That's definitely not good. I just wanted to have do a bit more damage for his evolved Pokemon, but now I'm not sure we're going to make it with the burn because that will hurt us at the end of every turn. We do use Psychic against Rapidash. That is a one-hit KO with the geez, another Intimidate. And we're in the red, but with the nasty Plot, that was a one-hit KO. Have to hope for one against Arcanine. Is not, and we're taken down. That's our first loss in such a long time. Oh my gosh. So we're going to have to reset. So after I reset, I realized that I forgot to save the game. In fact, the last time I saved the game was before Sabrina. So I had to do a little bit I had to do her gym all over again and then get through the burn matching, but it's not too bad. So again, we're starting with the Growlithe. This time I am going to set up the Nasty Plots. I think I'm going to set up 2, giving us +4 on the special attack. I can take a Fire Blast. Oh my. I thought I could take a Fire Blast. That did so much. Okay, so we're still in the red. I'm gonna see if we could just power through this now. Oh my gosh. That was just the Growlithe. Um, all right, so we don't have the time to set up. I thought we would have the time to set up on Growlithe. But being +4, I think is definitely gonna help us. We'll see what happens. Can we one-shot the Rapidash? We do. Okay, all we have to do is one-shot the Arcanine, and we are scot-free. Let's see. Hopefully, we do it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. I did not expect Growlithe's Fire Blast to do that much damage. Oh my gosh. I don't know how well we're going to do in Elite Four, but we might need to use some rare candies. Um. All right, so we've finally done with Blaine. Now we get to fly back to Viridian and take on the last Giovanni and our last rival fight. Right, time for our last match with Giovanni and the last gym badge before we can head towards the Elite Four. He starts with a Rhyhorn. I'm going to again try to use the first Pokemon as an opportunity to set up Nasty Plot, just as a backup. So he uses Scary Face, which is going to slow us down. Um, that's okay. We could be slower than they are. I don't think that's that big of a deal. So I set up the second one, which puts us at +4 on special attack. And he drops our speed again. Now we can start doing some damage. I'm pretty sure we're going to one-shot the Rhyhorn. We do. Rhyhorn goes down. And then there's the Nidoqueen. Of course, Nidoqueen being weak, but oh, we are slower. So we are hit with the Earthquake. Actually doesn't do that much damage. So we're not worried about it, even though it's a stab Earthquake from Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen goes down in one shot. Nidoking probably still going to go down in one shot, although we hit with a second Earthquake. Those two speed drops are really hurting us. Now we're below half health. I don't like that. Definitely don't like being at this low health. You have Dugtrio. I know Dugtrio's faster than us. That's the third Earthquake that we're going to be hit with. That did not do as much. Dugtrio goes down, so there's one Pokemon left for us to take on. One Pokemon left, and it's Rhyhorn. Rhyhorn at level 50. Rhyhorn, I think we could take on. We're still faster than even after our 2 speed drops, and that is a one-hit KO. That's our 8th gym badge. We've done it. We've done it. Oh my gosh. Porygon, like, I have to say, it's been fun going through this game with Porygon. He just powerhouse through the entire game, mostly. If it wasn't for Brock, I think it would have, like, it would be a contender for some of the best Pokemon in here. Speaking of, I'm going to have to talk about our timing here before I disappoint people who have been watching. Right now, we're at about 5.5 hours. And that is a long time. Granted, 2.5 of those hours was grinding just to defeat Brock. So, I mean, that's a thing. But I do think Porygon can do this faster. In the meantime, I was getting used to doing these. This is kind of my first solo run at trying to be the fastest. I'm not trying to do a speed run, but there were plenty of mistakes that I've made throughout this playthrough, which I think contributed to a longer time. And I'm still using the speed up button on the emulator. I think I'm gonna get rid of that for future solo runs, so because I know that can add time. The game's going so fast that you compile time on top of it, just in between button presses. So I think I'm gonna take that away, and then just as I go through the game more often, I'll get used to playing it more, and we could get some faster time. So I think what I might do is after we finish up everyone in Gen 4, maybe I'll return to Porygon-Z and see if we can do it again and get a faster finish time. But for the time being, it looks like we're probably going to be at about 6.5 hours. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get through the Elite Four. Maybe as quickly as it's taken me to roll through my rival's Pokemon as we one-shot everything he throws at us just with Discharge and Psychic. That's what I'm saying. Like, Porygon doesn't even need that extensive of a moveset. it's it's kind of insane how good this Pokemon is. It's kind of insane. But okay, Rival 6 has 2 Pokemon left. I don't know why we went for Psychic. That was dumb. That was a misclick. We're going to go for Discharge instead. And that didn't do it. I have to remember Alakazam doesn't have any defenses. I should have just went for Tri Attack. And it still lived. And he synchronized the paralysis on me. Oh my god. This Alakazam just won't go down. All right, we've gotten past the Alakazam. All that's left is Venusaur. Venusaur is an easy win for us. I didn't know who to choose. Actually, Porygon is good against all 3 of the starters. It's good against Venusaur, it's good against Charizard, and it's good against Blastoise. So, uh, none of them really would have given me a challenge. I chose Venusaur because it resisted electric moves, forgetting that Porygon learned psychic moves. So, yeah, none of those Pokemon was going to be a challenge. All right, now we get to head towards the Elite Four. This is it. We're taking on the Elite Four and I'm about to finish the game with our Porygon-Z and see how low of a level and how quickly Porygon-Z can actually get through the game. Lorelai's first, and she starts off with a Dugong. Dugong should be easy for us to take on. We have Discharge, it's weak against it. I'm wondering, though, if I should set up a nasty plot. So I set up at least one, just to help us out a bit. Dugong starts with a Surf, that's going to be a strong hit. Does a bit of damage to us, but we can take it. Now we go for Discharge. Discharge does one shot. Excellent. After the nasty plot, it was easy to take it on. Then it goes for the Cloyster, also part water type. So we try to go for Discharge, but it uses Protect, which sucks. Wastes a PP, but that's okay because we still have Discharge here, and we're going to drop Cloyster off right there. No problem. It looks like Lorelei. It's going to be easy to get past, but you still have to wonder. Here comes the third Discharge. All of Lorelei's Pokemon are like water types except for Jinx. So Slowbro goes down in one hit, and then of course there goes the Lapras, also water type, so we hit it with the Discharge as well. Jinx, we're actually gonna go for Tri Attack instead. Lapras lives and uses a Surf, does a whole lot of damage. It was a critical hit. Oh no. No, that's not what we wanted. We're faster, so we use Discharge again. That's definitely not what we wanted. I did not want to see that. Since we have the special attack boost, instead of going for a Tri Attack, I'm going to go for Discharge. Hopefully it's enough to take out the Jinx. It's not super effective. But, oh, but we paralyzed. And it's fully paralyzed. That's RNG for you. That's what we needed. We could Discharge again and take out the Jinx. And we barely beat Lorelei. Oh my gosh, Lapras did so much damage to us. I did not expect that. But we are past Lorelei. Next up, of course, is Bruno. And not much to say because, as we said earlier in the game, we don't talk about Bruno. Bruno is not a difficult Elite Four member. Even when I was a kid, he wasn't really hard to fight against. And here, his Onix has low special defense, so we go straight for Psychic, which doesn't take it out, surprisingly. It goes for Rock Tomb, which is an incredibly weak move. It does slow us down. He's going to go for a full restore. We just hit it with another Psychic. And then do it again. And Onix goes down. Now, he does have another Onix. I might want to use Nasty Plot if I can get the opportunity. The problem is, he has a lot of fighting-type Pokemon. A lot of fighting-type Pokemon. And we don't really have an opportunity to do anything. We have to get rid of them immediately. So Onix might have been the Pokemon to set up on, because, yeah, we're not taking them out. I wonder if he's going to heal, and predicting the heal, I go for a Nasty Plot. Instead, he goes for a Sky Uppercut, which does so much damage and knocks us out. So we lose to Bruno. So, yes, it might be a better idea for us to set up on the Onix, who can't do anything but Rock Tomb, giving us the ability to take out the rest of his fighting Pokemon. All right, so I talked badly about Bruno, and he beat me. So maybe I shouldn't I shouldn't trash talk Bruno. Um, I mean, especially since he is the one person with Pokemon that Porygon is actually weak to. So we're gonna go with our plan. We're gonna start with Nasty Plot against the Onyx. That's gonna raise us up by 2 stages. I'm not sure that's enough, so we're gonna take the Tombstone. But I don't want my speed lowered too much. Now that I think about it, if we take another Rock Tomb, I said Tombstone. If we take another Rock Tomb, then some of his fighting Pokemon might end up faster than us. And if they do, that is trouble. So at this point, I think we're going to try with just one setup. At least that's enough to take out Onyx. We move to level 55, not learning Lock On. And then, of course, his Hitmonchan is out. Hopefully that gave us enough to take out the Hitmonchan with the +2. Yes, +2 definitely helped us out. And can we take out Hitmonlee as well? He's faster than us. Brick Break super effective. Oh my gosh. So much damage. I think Hitmonlee... No, Hitmontop is out here too. I was going to say, I think Hitmonlee is going to be the only one faster than us. Machamp is not faster than us. Can we one-shot though? Yes. Okay, so one Nasty Plot's enough to one-shot the Machamp. And, oh, the last Pokemon is Onyx. Okay, I thought he had a Hypnotop for some reason, but no, this is Kanto. Why would he have that Pokemon? We made it past, but geez, Bruno actually was a challenge. Sort of. Not really a challenge, but a bit more challenging than I thought he would be, and that's just mainly because we're weak against fighting. So, yeah, of course the fighting type Elite Four member presented a little bit of a challenge. Now it's time for Agatha. Agatha, I'm not afraid of. She uses ghost type Pokemon. They all have poison type. So, you know, we could just spam psychic and get through it. Here comes the Gengar. It has levitate. I do go for the Nasty Plot. I'm learning my lesson. We need to set up when we get a chance. Gengar uses double team, which could be bad. So I hope we land this move. And we do land it, Gengar goes down. So we don't have to worry about double team anymore. Although I am running out of PP and I should have thought about that. So to preserve it, I go for discharge on the Golbat. Golbat goes down. Easy. Next up, Agatha's going to have the Arbok, which lowers my attack. That reduces the chances of me using Tri-Attack, although Psychic should be able to take out the Arbok easily, and it does. Arbok goes down. So now we have two Pokemon left. It is Gengar and Haunter, I believe. I used Discharge by accident. That was a definite misclick. It's not enough to take it out, and Haunter actually puts us to sleep. We know it's going to go for Dream Eater. I really don't like that. She uses the Citrus Berry. I'm hoping we wake up. It uses Sludge Bomb. I thought it was going to use Dream Eater, actually. We can't be poisoned because we're asleep. So that's good at least. The problem is, the longer we're asleep... Okay, we woke up. I was like, the more damage we'll take. And that's what we don't want to happen. So we can take out that Gengar. Mistakes were made right there. But Haunter's going to be an easy defeat with the last of our PP for Psychic, and we take out the Haunter. Now, it's just Lance and the champion. Porygon is powering through the Elite Four. So now it's time for the fourth member of the Elite Four, Lance, the semi-dragon trainer, who who has a Charizard, an Aerodactyl, and a Gyarados for some reason. But here we go. There goes the Gyarados. Or is it just Gyarados and Aerodactyl? He doesn't have a Charizard? I don't remember. One of the games he has a Charizard. Gyarados, of course, going to be easy. Discharge. We pick it up 4 times effective. Gyarados is going to drop to that. I did not use Nasty Plot this time. I don't know if I'm going to need to. But we will find out. Maybe I should have. There goes the Aerodactyl. And actually, I'm going to decide to use Nasty Plot here. It uses Ancient Power, and it gets a crit. That's the worst. We did not want to see a crit there. Here comes our discharge. Ancient Power is faster. And we're at a pretty low health. That is pretty low. I'm not sure about our position here. 54 HP. Of course, the first Dragonite. Question is, should I use Discharge, Tri-Attack, or Psychic? Tri attack is stab at least. Discharge is neutral, just like everything else. But we do have the nasty plot up. So I think here I'm going to I'm actually gonna check our Pokemon. I'm gonna check and see which would be better. So Psychic is base 90. Since they're all neutral, and I have the nasty plot up, I'm gonna say Psychic's the best one for us to use. So we're gonna go with that. And that, oh my, does not even do half to Dragonite. That's not where we want to be. All right, so we're gonna try for Lance again. We're a couple of levels higher, and we'll see how well this can do for us. And this time I think I'm gonna set up on the Gyarados. We have to remember Gyarados used Intimidate as well, so Tri Attack is not the way to go with future Pokemon. Even though we didn't do that last time, we have to keep that in mind. So we're gonna go for the nasty plot here. To get our booster special attack, Gyarados is gonna go for Dragon Rage, which does 40 HP. Yeah, it's not gonna be doing that much. If he goes for Dragon Rage again, that's good. We set up 2. Yeah, he goes for Dragon Rage again. It's actually not the best move for him to use. So with the +2, hopefully that's enough to help us take out his Dragonite. The Discharge is going to take out Gyarados, of course. If it goes for Aerodactyl, we could take it out with Discharge. Oh, but it's faster than us with Wing Attack. It is a crit. I did not expect Aerodactyl to be so much faster than we are. Discharge is going to take it out in one hit, but now we're in the red, and oh my god. Okay. So here comes Dragonite. We're faster. We go for Psychic. I don't know. It's not enough. It's not enough to take it out. What do we do here? Now, this time we're at a much higher level. We're at level 62. Hopefully that's enough to help us out. So first, same plan. We're going to use Nasty Plot with Gyarados out because it's going to use the Dragon Rage. Again, Dragon Rage doing set damage actually helps us out. The Dragon Knight is the problem, so that's why I want to go +6, because I want to be able to do as much damage to the Dragonite as possible. The downside is we got hit with 3 Dragon Rage. That's not good. That we're not in a good position here, so I don't know if that was worth it. We can get past the Gyarados. We'll get past the Aerodactyl. The question is, am I faster at this level? I am actually faster at this level, so this is the level we want to be at. We take out the Aerodactyl, no problem. And then we have the Dragonite, the dreaded Dragonite, and we're in the yellow. I don't like it. I have 2 PP for Psychic left. With the +6, we actually one-shot it. So this is the level we want to be at. Downside, I only have 1 left. I don't know if I can beat Dragonair. I go for Tri Attack instead. Maybe we'll get a status effect. It's not enough, but it does burn it. And Dragonair is going for Dragon Rage for some reason. This charge is resisted. I think the only attack I can do is Tri Attack. And it goes for Dragon Rage again. It's gonna leave me with 9 HP. But it goes down to the burn, leaving 1 Pokemon left. It is another Dragonair. This time we go for our last PP of Psychic. We're faster, we hit it, and we take it down. I have an elixir to use for the champion, but we're moving on to the champion. That wasn't like the smoothest win against Lance, but we won, and that's what we need to do. This is it. This is it. It is time for the champion. We're going to take him on, see how quickly we can beat this game. Now, there are a lot of things I would do differently next time I try something like this. Like, for instance, trying to teach an Ice Beam. I think that would have been real useful. But Pidgeot's first up. We've never had a problem with our rival. So we're going to go ahead, use Discharge. It paralyzes the Pidgeot. It goes for a Feather Dance, which lowers our attack. That is going to put a damper on the Tri Attack. He goes for a full restore here. I take the opportunity to actually use Nasty Plot. Since he's going to heal this Pidgeot, we might as well raise our special attack stat. So this time Discharge will drop the Pidgeot. It lowering our attack stat might be bad. We'll have to see what we can do. Yeah, because Alakazam, we normally go for Tri Attack against it. This time I go for Discharge just because we have our lowered attack. I don't know if it's enough. It's not enough to take out the Alakazam. We have to take a Psychic, which does a lot of damage. Is he going to heal here? He doesn't. He doesn't heal here. Probably because Alakazam has Recover and he tried to go for Recover. But we're faster, so Alakazam is done. And now we have Rhydon. Rhydon, we'll just use Psychic against, and that is enough to take it out, which is good. Up to level 64 now. Not an incredibly high level, actually. There goes the Gyarados. Our attack drops once again. Yeah, having Ice Beam would have been much better. Gyarados is going to go down to the Discharge, of course, 4 times. Weakness to Electricity. Why do you even have this Pokemon? Now it's Arcanine. Arcanine's a problem. Another attack drop. He really likes dropping your attack stat. All right, we hit Arcanine with Psychic. It doesn't take it out. I'm afraid of Flamethrower. And that is going to do a whole lot of damage. Oh my gosh. He's going to full restore here. So I actually am going to go ahead, hit it with one Psychic. And, oh, it must have been a high roll. We took it out. Excellent. Venusaur's the only Pokemon left. And I think we can one-shot it. And we do. That makes us the champion. Porygon-Z. Porygon-Z makes it through the game. And I have to say, a lot easier than it seemed like it would be for Porygon-Z to make it through the game. Now, we're going to see what the ending time is when we register our Porygon in the championship computer here. So we register it. There we go. Porygon-Z in the Hall of Fame all by itself. All by itself. Time is 6 hours and 37 minutes. Again, I kind of explained earlier on, we'll probably redo this with Porygon as we get used to doing these type of solo runs, but this was really fun. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm going to do more of the Pokemon from Gen 4 and see how quickly they can get through Fire Red, or how quickly I can get through Fire Red with them. Of course, we're going to try to do things better, and then after we complete the Pokedex, I may return to Porygon-Z, see if I can get a better time with it. With that being said, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to catch you next time.